Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse, today, Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. Now, the Menendez case is going to be the third day of closings. It's incredible. There are 5 hours for the government, halfway through 5 hours for Menendez, then there's going to be 2.5 hours for Weil Hanna, the beef liver monopolist, and a mere hour and 15 minutes for Fred Davies, developer and Qatar proponent, according, of course, to the prosecution. Now, interestingly enough, yesterday, during the government prosecution, or at the end of it, the Team Menendez has brought up a problem, saying that they came perilously close to a speech or debate clause violation, which would certainly come up on appeal if he's convicted, because they said that they described him as being in charge of hundreds of millions of dollars of lethal aid, yes or no votes. And one, the voting is in the Senate. Two, they said it's not hundreds of millions, it's only 99 million. And they claimed that the weapons to Egypt were, in fact, some of them were dummy bullets to fire at crowds of protesters. So we'll see how that works out in the Second Circuit, if it comes to that. It's similar to, and we are still on the Trump docket, people have been saying, how does the immunity decision of the Supreme Court, how could it affect the New York trial that we covered in great detail and wrote several books about, including one called Hope and Davidson? That's a key one, because what they're saying is that the testimony of Hope Hicks and also Westerhut, who worked in the White House, and the inclusion of some White House tweets runs afoul of a provision of the decision in which evidence of the time in office can't be used and shouldn't come in at trial. Is that enough to overthrow a verdict that was rendered by a jury before the Supreme Court decision? Well, we'll just have to find out. September, we'll be covering the sentencing. In fact, today we're covering that case of Aimee Harris, who pled guilty to taking, I'm not saying stealing, taking and trying to sell or selling Ashley Biden's diary. She's supposed to begin a month prison yesterday, but she was arrested speeding without a license with marijuana and assaulting a police officer, or resisting arrest maybe, in South Carolina. Judge Swain has set a 4 p.m. deadline for any defense filings, and we are all over it. There's also the Hwang deliberations. We're on that. We covered the charge conference. We covered the first of 2 notes, and today there probably will be a verdict. Now, Guo got spicy at the end of the defense case with more Operation Fox Hunt, including testimony about Guo Jho Low, how he tried to ingratiate himself by getting Miles Guo back to China. So we're going to, Fox Hunt Guo, watch for it. And of course, the United Nations, which participates in Operation Fox Hunt, yes it does, through its Convention on Corruption and Antonio Guterres' long-standing ties through the China Energy Fund Committee to the CCP. Now, there's another UN case actually here, which involves the mission of Sierra Leone. They've defaulted, they've thumbed their nose, they've left their mission full of rats. The neighbors sued. They're pretty much winning default, except at the last moment, Judge Ramos has asked the U.S. State Department to chime in, probably to say the mission is immune, the rats can continue to party here in Manhattan. But Inner City Press, which is pushing to get, we've had 2 firms write to the UN, Quinn Emanuel, Dwayne Morris, no answer. They were both pro bono, no answer from the UN, totally immune. We're going to keep pushing. And for now, back to Menendez. To be continued.